Coaches, this is for Tuesday the 10th. We'll start with in our warm-up, we're going to be on the machines to prep obviously for the workout that will be later in the day, but then getting that barbell in hand to practice our muscle snatch and that turnover of our elbows, really looking for high elbows and fast turnover, punching out that ceiling. A big thing that can really help during this warm-up time to benefit them, as we'll quickly get into the hang snatch complex and the snatches, is making sure that you're slowing people down, giving them cues during the warm-up period, especially in their overhead squat, making sure to make them pause, reposition them, help them recognize to get their hips back a little bit more, sitting into those heels and the entire foot in general. Really think about having them grip the floor with their toes, twisting the feet into the ground, helps with turning those knees out, opening room for our hips, giving as many cues as possible to every single athlete. Each round of the warm-up is going to be relatively short and small. We want that, a lot of movement going through. If you can, try to nail down every single athlete and giving them a cue to help them in that overhead position or in the turnover in their muscle snatch. With the hang snatch complex, make sure that athletes are, number one, pausing for 2 seconds in the power position. We are trying to get them a little bit lower in their power position, but we're not going to critique that too much. What we're just trying to do is help them find that, because that means that they're pulling themselves underneath the bar much better. Second thing is that when we are in hang positions, let's try to make sure that as we come down to our knees, that we're not using that momentum to go right into the rep. Try to make sure that each time that they come down, it's a stop at the knee before they continue into the different reps. And that includes after the power snatch, when they go into those 2 hang snatches. As they come out, they stand up and they bring it back down. Don't let them use that momentum to go back up. Really focusing on the technique, being explosive in the hips, getting big and strong, squeezing the glutes together. Afterwards, we'll have just 4 reps to get relatively big with our snatch. And this is kind of the fun time for athletes and for us to celebrate our athletes as they're looking more solid, feeling more confident, having just overall better position in the larger weights. As we've been practicing these complexes, this is exactly what we are building up to. And this is just kind of mini showing, hopefully what we're gonna see in the coming weeks as we get to those single lifts like today. But they do only have 4 lifts. Try to make them stick to that. Want to help athletes, because we're doing that to help athletes understand how to go up in smart weight increments so that they're setting themselves up for success. We're trying to end at about 95% of their 1 rep max. If they're setting themselves up for success, we're gonna see very little failures, or failures knowing exactly what went wrong based off all the complex information that we've hopefully given them over the last couple weeks. Finishing the day with Ring of Fire. This is machines only. Machines, machines, machines. This is going to be an interesting one for a lot of us to make sure that we are prepared to have the largest class we've ever had, going through whatever amount of machines that we have to make this workout happen. If you're feeling a little lost on how to do that, please reach out to me. I'd love to help talk through it and help you find the best way to do that. We really want to make sure that on these machines that they're not taking more than 90 seconds at each different part. They're going from the row to bike and back to the row. Trying to push athletes to take no longer than 90 seconds there is really going to be a good indicator and definitely help them get within that target time. And then if needed, based on equipment, based on class sizes, be prepared to possibly have athletes run for that. Instead of that second row, we can have distances set out and ready to have our athletes run to, instead of doing that that second row. So make sure that you're prepared for that. If you want some advice on the distances there, if you really feel like you will not have the ability to get your athletes on those machines, then reach out to me and let's make it happen.